Ladies and gentlemen, welcome out to Fellowship. We're going to go through the routes that we found to be the best. Is it the best? I don't know, but it works very, very well for Paragon League, so it works in all the lower leagues. It works with nearly every affix going, so hopefully we'll make sure you get some good times and people know what they're doing. I've no doubt these routes will get adapted over time. All right, we're getting into it. Our first pull is the trickiest. Make sure your tank slides along this fence. Doesn't go on the other side of the fence. That fence is really hard to jump over. I know it sounds silly, but it is true. This first pull is actually one of the scariest in the entire dungeon. I'm not joking. I'm going to use nearly every defensive I possibly have in this area. There's actually not much reason to use something like Grand Melee here. You can, but generally speaking, they don't do much besides the face stabbers jumping on people's heads that is going to help you. In some cases, Grand Melee is the most powerful tool in the game. In other occasions, Grand Melee will actually make everything melee you and kill you. You got to be a little careful with it so as you get into high leagues. But you can see how low my health is going here, trying to spam and keep that toughness bar up. I use nearly everything. Shield Wall is used there. All my mitt is used. Trinket Potion is used. I wanted that. We're going to pull everything again here. Now, we have an empowered Bully Basher, which means the Bully Basher has a lot more health and does a lot more damage. It's just not that scary. It's totally fine to have that happen. Of all the empowered units, it's not the scariest one. We are going to use Grand Melee here to shut down anything else that might happen. It's there, so we might as well utilize it as the fight goes on. Now, you see, I'm trying to avoid the coins dropped by the looters. The coins give a damage buff and slow you. Not a big deal when we're doing a big pack like this, but we're going to try and leave them for the DPS. On occasion, tanks, it lands on you. There's nothing you can do about it. I don't really need it. I want my damage dealers to be able to keep refreshing their buff. You can see our ranger there running around and occasionally just extending the buff because we want to carry this buff into the next pack. So might as well. Bully Basher obviously has a ton of health. We're going to be bringing that down. Armara doing extreme damage there. I believe this was the point Armara got the CDR weapon, the cooldown reduction weapon, meaning they had Maiden for every pull. Very, very cool. So now we're going to move down and we're going to grab this patrol, this pack and this patrol, the horror in it. This horror patrol, if you go at this pace, like similar to this, will be in a good position. We have found this to be extremely consistent. If not tank, you might have to run past a little bit and just do something to pull this pack into here. We want to lock it down in this area. This is nice and safe. There are a few patrols and things wandering around here. Tuck into this corner. Really nice. DPS, you're going to be cleaving off the horror. You don't want that. Interrupts are going to go into the Bully Basher for Together Strong. Tanks, always bear in mind that you're going to get spiderling spawns that could come out of this, but always cleaving off the Bully Basher. Every single time. Cleave off the Bully Basher. It's what you want to have happen. You can see I'm reselecting it there. I'm comfortable with all the ads that have spawned. I'm just going to keep working this pack down. But we're going to be trying to keep this situation relatively similar. One goal we have in this dungeon, again, as with everything in Fellowship, it is doable, just not advisable, is not to have 2 horrors per pack. Right, that is just too much. So now we go to the right here, and this is the pull that we want to get right. I think this might be the video where I have the very silly pull. Actually, it's coming up later. We're also going to pull in these face stabbers and chin choppers, because there's nothing super scary in here. Right, we've got a few face stabbers that are going to jump on people, but I'm going to use my Grand Melee to just stop that happening for a while. Use whatever tools and stuns you have in order to prevent that. And we're going to be, again, cleaving off the Bully Basher as much as possible. Everything else has got way lower health. It's locked down. It's totally fine. So we're going to be using any ability we have just to keep working on the Bully Basher. Get these face stabbers down. I don't like the face stabbers. I see them occasionally do some scary things. Again, the Together Strong cast on the Bully Basher is what we want to stop. Together Strong is going to put a damage reduction on every mob around them. Don't want that. Don't want that. Everything else the Bully Basher does is fine. It has a tank. You see, Bully Basher is a bit of a tank buster, but it doesn't hit hard enough even in Paragon League to be worried about. Now we're going to pull everything into here. Now you should generally, as DPS, have ults at this point. This is your, if you're DPSing, this is your ult point. Got to pull in this horror, all these spiders. Now, the big addition to the trash here that's scary are the Grave Snare Kidnappers. These things suck. The Kidnappers suck. What their Kidnap is they will teleport out of the group. Here goes Kidnap. And then they start casting and dragging people into them. And if they get to them, they stun them. It really sucks. Don't want that to happen. So the way you counter that is by having assigned interrupters as best as possible. You don't know if it's going to kidnap you or whatever. And stuns. Really use your stuns on these. Like, you can stun them mid-kidnap cast and shut them down. But as you can see, this is where you want your ults. You can see 60k DPS coming out from both of our DPSs at this point in order to make sure that this is locked down as fast as possible. Now, here comes the kidnappers. Got to be trying to target. You see, I'm going to stun it mid-cast. There you go. In order to prevent the kidnap. If you do stun it while it's casting, it will just not cast it again for a little while. So you can't interrupt it until it actually starts casting and dragging somebody. But you can stun it mid-cast. Next pull. We're nearly done with this dungeon, by the way. This dungeon is really nice. This is the most awkward pull in here. What we want to do is pull that one from far away. Here it is. We're actually going to wipe here. There is a piece of webbing. This is why I wanted to show this video. There's a piece of webbing there that is a full wall. You see, I didn't know why I was stuck. What is happening? As you can imagine, my team is laughing hysterically at what just happened. So be aware. I wanted to show this for the video because it happened to me. It'll happen to one of you guys. Is that little piece of webbing that's sticking out from that wall is a full wall. You can't get out of it. Now, what's supposed to happen is what we're about to see is that you will pull the pack around the corner that I was trying to target and then pull all the way back. Now, the reason we do that is there's casters in that pack, so we're just going to be line of sighting and allowing everything to come together really nice. We tried this pull like 4 or 5 different ways. To get it really nice. It's the Venom drinker is the scary one. So now they've marked the web for me. You can see how much fun they were having here. And now we're going to pull them together. So because we're line of sighted around this corner, you can see the Venom caster, the Venom drinker, sorry, has come in. We've got a horror in here as well, so we're going to be cleaving off that. Now, the Venom drinker, why are we scared of the Venom drinker? The Venom bolts are kind of whatever. Just send interrupts on those. It doesn't matter. What we don't like is Venom Nado, which is the tornado that's coming out. That is going to be the poison nado. There it is. And we want stuns on that. Right? Stuns, grip, something like that. We want that Venom drinker to not be casting Venom nado. It can't be interrupted normally, so everything else you can just send. We have got kidnappers in here. They're a staple of the trash at this point. We did lose aggro on the horror, which is normal. At this point, our DPS are significantly more geared than I am. So it was a regular issue, especially if you don't have the threat bonus, the threat set bonus that you can get. So there we go, Venom Nado. We're going to stun that, lock it down, and then move through just clearing the rest of this up. We're going to be left with, obviously, a Kidnapper. Very annoying. As my stuns are going into Poison Nado, I can be left without a stun. So here comes the Kidnap. You can see you want to be just targeting it, immediately interrupt it. That's it. Do not let it drag your units in. So now we hug this left wall. Hug it all the way around. Now we're going to pull this pack, but we're going to run through the tunnel. That's going to create natural line of sight. And then we're going to be pulling these two up here, this Kidnapper and the Recluse. This is going to give us perfect percentage. These two mobs are the exact final percentage we need in order to reach 100% just before the final boss. Nothing you haven't seen before in this pack. We've got 3 Kidnappers and a Carrion Horror. So we want to destroy the Horror as quickly as possible. And then, obviously, Kidnappers, you're aware of what they are. Stuns, interrupts, whatever it might be. I do somewhat recommend that you stay relatively close to the pack, especially you ranged fellas. It does help with melee interrupting the Kidnappers if it's needed, right? If we haven't got stuns on each of them. We do generally try and, like, have a general idea of who's stunning what, but considering you don't know who's getting kidnapped, it can be a little awkward. Either way, you can see that interrupts over there, so the ranged take care of themselves. Melee went and interrupt that one, and then we're going to game on. Now, obviously, first things first with this boss. We're about to see. The boss initiates when you jump down the hole. Just check your healer's got mana. Right, dudes? For the love of God, just check your healer's got mana. The amount of times, even with us guys chilling on Discord or whatever, the amount of times that somebody just jumped down out of habit instead of just be like, wait! Just wait. Just give it a second. Let your healer have some mana. This fight can go a long time, especially when you get late Paragon and into Endless. You want to just wait and wait. Okay. It's got to be fine. There's a bit of roleplay before the fight starts, so if it's like 90, 85% mana, there'll be full mana by the time the boss starts. All right, first things first. These ad spawns are set, so we're going to pull, the tank is going to pull the boss over to this left-hand side of the room as you drop down. Fang Strike is obviously the tank buster. Have something for that. And then we're going to be chilling, because now Call Children is coming in. This fight as melee is possibly the worst one in the game, in my opinion, basically because of this poison pool that's traveling under the boss. The poison pool targets one person randomly, including the tank at times, and just follows you around. So you just have to start circling around. It's very annoying, right? Venom spray, don't stand in stuff on the floor. Good job. Very, very hard. Kill these ads. Get them out of the way because they're going to become a problem later on. Now, one thing to point out here, if you have the polymorph chicken trinket, which will turn an enemy into a chicken, we're done with trash, and trash on bosses just doesn't matter. It doesn't count towards actual percentage for the dungeon completion. There's going to be a kidnapper spawning in the next wave of ads. Great time to use it. Great time to use it. It really doesn't matter. You can see the chains. The chains can go on both melees, right? The tethering webs. You have to split them. So you don't have to go very far. Just bear in mind where your tank's going to go. A little reposition by me there because I had to break my tethering web is to bring the boss back here. I want the ads to spawn on top of the boss, obviously. So my cleave abilities, my shockwaves, whatever it might be, do land on the ads when they come in. So you can see there they come. I've got the legendary at the moment, which allows my charge to also do shockwaves. So I have multiple shockwaves, get jelly. But now we have the awkward point, which is really scary. Another great addition to this dungeon, we try and bring at least 2 of them, is Master Spell Trinkets. The Master Spell Trinkets are so good in this dungeon and will make your healer feel, especially on this boss, like they're not doing anything at all. It'll allow them to do a lot more damage. Allow them to be a lot more chilled and free, because a lot of this is dot damage. You can see dots are stacking on me now, dots are stacking elsewhere, right? This is where the damage comes from in here. Tethering webs on the range there. They don't have to do anything. I was actually on one of the melees, but Almara was waiting for the boss to get through these poison pools. Very frustrating with the poison pools, but they will eventually go on your range, and you can chill and hang out here. Depending on your damage, you'll do 2 or 3 waves of ads, and then make the judgment call. Is it going to spawn more ads? If not, just stand still. You're not going to move to the other side of the room. Keep the boss where it is. Sometimes when this boss gets really meaty, you can have 3 or 4 acid pools going. That gets very, very difficult. The ramp-up nature of this boss is pretty extreme. The good thing is, even if you have a lot of the acid pools floating around, unless they're individually targeting different people, which can happen, they'll sort of stack on top of each other. So it's not the worst thing. You can see we're actually just ignoring ads here. The boss is at 2%. Make that call. I'm cleaving them down, and Mara is using them to funnel more damage into the boss. But other than that, let it go. 45 seconds remaining, which is plenty of time in this world. Very few pulls needed. We found this to be just reliable, consistent. We beat every single timer in the game using this route. I have no doubt someone will find something nicer, but for now, that should get you going. All right, guys. Bye-bye.